I know you feel it, the burning in your spirit, welling deep inside. You got a beast inside. I know it's hard to tame it, it's harder to explain it. Can't even get a picture, no matter how you frame it. There's so much pressure with all these external stresses, and definitely try to test you. Gotta push them through the feeling, even though your mind is reeling. The power's deep inside and leads you if you were willing. Got the power. Can you feel the power? This is the hour to release your power. Got the power.
Hello, y'all. I know you saw something new just now. I didn't get to say that in the beginning, so I'm going to say it now. The Power Shut Up podcast has a new theme song, so you will hear this every time we come live, and a video. And I will say that it is done by our guest tonight. You're going to hear more about him. You've seen him before, but he has done some amazing things for the Power Shut Up podcast. But we're here to celebrate him because tonight, today, all day, he has released a new single, The Beef. Is it called Beef?
Beef.
Beef. We're going to show you the video. We're going to talk a little bit with Donnie about, this is Love Month. So we're going to talk a little bit about self-love. And we're going to talk about a little bit of the Power Shut Up because that's what we're here to do too. But we're just going to celebrate. We're going to turn up. The Power Shut Up is stepping outside of their box a little bit because y'all know we play it safe over here. But we have some amazing guests to do some amazing things. So I want you to be prepared that we are turning it up. Okay, we taking it up to 10. We've been playing around 5 or 6, Donnie. You know, we've been playing it safe. But Donnie is taking us to another level. So we're going to show you an amazing video in his new release. But I still wanted to actually remind you all that this is the very first show of 2024. So I know this is a little off because we are in February 1st, as a matter of fact. But Happy New Year, because it's a new year. But I also wanted to say happy birthday to all of those who are celebrating birthdays or the birthdays that we happen to have missed. And I also want to say happy anniversary to those who are celebrating love. February is Love Month. For me, it is. We'll talk a little bit about that. And just congratulations to all of you who are doing some amazing things, starting some businesses. Of course, Donnie is here to celebrate his new single. So congratulations to all of you all who are doing the daggone thing. Okay? That's what I wanted to get off first. I still wanted to remind you all to come here every Thursday starting today. We are back at it. We are still in season 1. But we are actually going to close out season 1 by the middle of this year. So I know we took a break in November because I like to give my team, some time off because we work hard to bring these shows to you and bring good topics and guests and things like that. So we took a break to celebrate the holidays with our family, but we are back and we are kicking off the second part of season 1 actually with Donnie. And I know you may have seen him before. Well, this was last year, right? You saw him last year, but he's doing something new. I wish we did. He had another single that he released on the Power Shut Up. And we play that all the time. You can find it on TikTok. We'll share that with you too. But I just wanted to make sure that we actually welcomed you back into the routine of coming here on Thursdays, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We also stream on all the platforms, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. We make it easy for you to catch up with us, check out what's going on. And at the end of the show, we'll also let you know how you can keep in touch with me, but also how you can keep in touch with our guests. So without further ado, because this is all about celebrations, and I will mention we'll have a Black History moment as well, because it is February. We're trying to cover all the bases. But let's find out why we're really here. We're really here to meet our wonderful guest, for those who have not met him before, and for those who remember him from being on the show before. Donnie, I wanted to welcome you to the show, and I wanted to say congratulations to you on your very next new single that released today. So we want you to tell us a little bit about this, but I wanted to first welcome everyone into the room. Thank you, Derek, for joining in. Thank you, Gail. Thank you, Victoria, for coming, because we have a big wig up in here all the way from LA, but he's from the DMV, so he's still homeboy, okay? So we got the mixture of the two. So Donnie, how does it feel? I know this is probably a regular day for you because this is just what you do, but tell us how you're feeling about dropping your new single today.
Well, thank you. First of all, I got to say you did an amazing job of sorting distributing all that information. First of all, so let's start there, okay? That's a whole little ordeal, but man, kudos to you and the power of shut up. You heard me? Thank you again for having me on the show. Definitely, it's always a pleasure to come back and be a part of what you got going on. To me, it's like any other day, man. This is business as usual. I decided in 2023, going into 2024 and beyond, that I'm going to live in myself. Okay. You know what I mean? And so I take this opportunity with this release to just kind of just get topics out of my head and exercise more of a declaration that I am who I am, and say it with my chest.
I like that. I like that. That's perfect for what that's tapping into the self-love thing, because you've decided. And I think that's a little of what we're doing here too, is we kind of stepping out of that box that sometimes people have made for us.
Yeah.
And deciding to, just do what we do, what we feel like doing, and sharing some of our gifts with the world, which is what you've been doing. So I did want to ask you before we get into some other things, because this is actually your second single that we've known about on TikTok recently. The first one was Celebrate. All the way up. If you all have heard me on some of my TikTok posts, I use Donnie's song behind my videos. So we'll definitely make sure you know how to find that. But what made you do this single? But before you do that, for those who may not have met you on the last time you were on the show, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Sure, I'll try to keep it as brief as possible. I'm Donnie B. GotDaBeats. I'm originally from PG County, Maryland, aka I call it Wakanda. I came up doing music. Come from a musical background and an IT background from both of my parents. Graduated from Fairmont Heights High School. Went to the Hampton University. So shout out to HIU. Studied music engineering technology. Moved back to DC, started working in recording studios and theater houses for Park and Planning Commission. Did that for about a decade. Worked at the University of Maryland as well in their theater and the New Bureau Cultural Center. But then I decided, I want to take my talents somewhere else because as we all know, that DC it hasn't been an entertainment town for some time, and I mean that in all caps. I don't want to offend anybody, because we all have to do entertainment, but to be really known for it, it hasn't been for some time. So my hope was to go out to LA to just do something different. So I took my talents to the other South Beach and haven't looked back. And it's I've been here going on 9 years. Well, it's 9 years now, going on 10 years. Okay. And just really trying to make my mark. With specificity to this single. I can say it now because I'm no longer with the organization, but I worked 3 years at Universal Music Group, and got to be and experience a lot of behind the scenes stuff that maybe I thought that I would have an understanding about, and it wasn't until I actually worked there to see how things move behind the scenes and how they were entertaining things and who they were entertaining and what were the reasons, how you can sign people and so forth and so on. And I actually got the opportunity to perform for some in-house events, which opened a lot of eyes for some executives there. And they stood behind me and was like, you know, hey man, what else you got? When are you going to do something next? And that's what really put the battery in my back to really kind of just own, like I said earlier, own who I am and say it with my chest. And so now that I'm no longer there, I don't have to worry about any conflict of interest. And now I could just be 100% authentic Donnie B at the beats. And this song was a perfect vehicle for it, the perfect vessel. And shout out to Noch Beats. Noch Beats. This is one track that I actually didn't do the beat. But I met Noch Beats, dope producer from Chicago. We have a lot in common. We got the ball thing going on. We both got, you know, dope beats. So shout out to him for allowing me to get on the track. And that's what led us to this project here.
I love it. Sharif and I were, you know, preparing for the show and checked it out, and yeah, it's hot. And so I'm so glad that you were willing to come on and actually let us celebrate with you. You know, this is huge. I mean, I know you're humble. So, you know, Donnie does a lot more than what he shared right here. And I'm sure this won't be the last time that he comes to the show, but anytime that you are doing something, we are here for it to celebrate with you. I know we celebrated the Celebrate song, and we had a good time with it. It was perfect. So I know this one, definitely you say it with your chest. It has a different energy on it. So I think some of you will like it, especially if y'all like, oh, Lisa, just play it safe all the time. We ain't playing it safe tonight. Yeah. Donnie is bringing it, but I love the title. I think it actually, you know, I just remembered back in the day when you had beef with somebody, and you know that's what we used. Exactly. And when I heard the song, I was like, yeah, this makes sense for, you know, how we grew up back in the day. But I love what you did with it, and I'm wondering if maybe we should just go ahead, check out the video, and then we can come back and talk with Donnie about some things that we see, what we like, all that good stuff. But let's check out the video.
Yeah. And I want to say real quick, for all the saints out there, first of all, you know, I had to say it with my chest, so there's some words and verbiage out there that you might not enjoy, but just say a prayer on it, you know what I mean? And then sleep on it, and everything will be all right tomorrow. But, you know, that is what it is.
It's a little flavor, but it's okay. And we love it. I think you all going to love what you hear, but let's check it out.
Noch Beats. Yeah. Real serious. I'm a motherfucking problem. Niggas can't stop them. Niggas pop, nigga what? Drop. Got him. In a room full of bodies. I'm him. Everybody in the spot body. I mean, everybody get it. You a shot. You talking to the Don. You a trust me properly. In this whole music odyssey, you bring these niggas news like peanut and state property. This shit ain't a hobby. The power's in the lobby. In the World Congress, and taking all your monies. Pesos and rupees, and dogging all you niggas, especially all you goofies. Niggas getting served, niggas get the goofies. Alhamdulillah, on heads like goofies. Donnie got beef, say the term loosely. Classes in session, niggas break out the loose leaf. Beef is when you hustle and they try to play you cheap. Beef is when niggas start to hate you on the creep. Beef is when shit going on. Best believe it, get some shit going on. Yeah, what's beef? Beef is when they hear you but they still wanna sleep. Beef is when they don't respect the company you keep. Beef is when shit going on. Best believe it, get some shit going on. Call him knockin' Poppy, this nigga Donnie out here. A nigga got a fever, I can really use more cowbell. A nigga near impeccable, do the shit without fail. I'm lucky to be here, did most of this shit without help. But still killing it with kindness. I'm this kind of violent, I just carry air like sinus. Attacking these haters' vices. Them niggas bring the heat, a period of fires. If these is lies, these eyes is demonized. Cause deep inside this guy is beastified. And he's inspired to drive what he despise. Cause people's lives are tired of these desires. So this is swag talking, this is brag talking. Donnie got beef, I leave your man smoking. If you could do it better, Donnie body count is similar to Brittany Redder. Beef is when you hustle and they try to play you cheap. Beef is when niggas start to hate you on the creep. Beef is when shit going on. Best believe it, get some shit going on. What's beef? Beef is when they hear you but they still wanna sleep. Beef is when they don't respect the company you keep. Beef is when shit going on. Best believe it, be some shit going on. What's beef? Beef is when when you hustle and they try to play you cheap. Beef is when niggas start to hate you on the creep. Beef is when shit going on. Best believe it be some shit going on. What's beef?
Yes. Congratulations, Donnie. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, we got caught up in the beat with the video. I'm anxious to hear what people think who were tuned in, and please continue to share this live with those that you love and want to know what's going on. And we're doing some productive conversation while we're busy celebrating people's wins. This was awesome. Donnie, I want to ask you, so I don't know if people caught the intro for the Power Shut Up, but I don't know if you saw some similarities in Donnie's video. So I'm going to say this again for those who did not catch it. We had a new intro for the Power Shut Up podcast that was created by the one and only Donnie. Look, and I'm putting the hands to the wrong side. To the one and only Donnie. Okay. Not only that, but that's our new theme song. So you got to make sure next time you tune in and listen to the words, because this is the hour of the power. Y'all didn't pay attention. Y'all can catch it. But Donnie, tell us a little bit about how you decided to put this video together along with your new single.
Well, I'm trying to make graphics and AI and stuff like that, because it's a lot of keywords and key verbiage these days where AI is the hot ticket. Everybody's trying to learn AI and everybody's trying to be that hit to what's next with that. And a lot of people don't know, like you said, I'm an onion, and like I have a lot of layers. There's a lot of things to me that I only tell people topically things of my skill sets and my abilities, but one of which is I've been in IT for over 20 years, specifically audio visual aspect of IT. So I have a very, very huge and dynamic skill set, and I work for very, very powerful companies in the United States. So with that being said, knowing that this is a lane that I want to go to, especially as companies like Universal Music Group are consolidating their resources to become more of a digital conglomerate.
Right.
I'm utilizing my abilities in that space to kind of champion the movement before everybody else does. So people like Kanye and stuff like that. Like Kanye had some very, very amazing visuals. Michael Jackson, amazing visuals. So my thought process is to do something different and be in the forefront of emerging technology to do stuff. So like might do stuff with the the Apple goggles that are coming out that just went live. So I have a lot of spatial videos coming up real soon. I have a lot of things that I nuances that I'm trying to just stay in to be tech savvy with. So when I did this record, and I'm older, so I still say records. When I did this record though, I wanted to. I felt like I was starting to be a little bit redundant with the visual images, and it kind of came across as somewhat enigmatic. So I wanted to make sure. I was like, this one, if I'm going to be saying it with my chest, I got to make sure that people see my face too.
Okay.
And so I combined both. Whereas before I just did the AI and the graphics and graphic images and so forth and so on. But this time I overlaid myself over top of the graphic images and stuff like that I generated. So I literally generated the whole video, and tongue in cheek. Not going to disclose it. Well, I'm gonna say it anyway. I'm gonna say it with my chest. I did the whole damn thing in my bedroom.
Really?
Yeah. The whole video was shot, done, edited, everything, and mixed and done in my bedroom. So
look. Okay, so I'm just gonna say this because people are always saying what they can't do because of this, what they can't do because of that. And you, to me, are an example of somebody who is using all of their gifts. Because you're right, you have layers, and we're discovering something new every time. So when Donnie puts something out, we're like, oh, we didn't know you did that. Oh, we didn't know you did that. And I do think that it's innovative. I was really intrigued when we first saw the first video was Celebrated. And, the first thing I noticed was the video.
Yeah.
And it matched the song. And it was like, that is so cool. So from that point on, I was like, I got to do this. How can I work with Donnie? So we talked about working together even last year, or I think even a year before that. Yeah. But I was excited to work with you. And Gail is actually in the comments because she said your bedroom. Yeah. And Gail can relate because she does some amazing things, and sometimes you don't realize she's going live and she's right in her bedroom. So what I'm suggesting is that when people think I gotta have this big studio, I gotta have all this money, you might want to rethink that. There are people out here that are doing things in places you wouldn't believe, and it's all about the skill set and what you see. You might not know what's going on behind the scenes. So stop assuming I can't do it because it's all of this. It is all of that, but it might not have taken what you thought it took to get it done. So that's amazing.
I want to say thank you to everybody that has commented, Mr. Pittman, Ms. Crowder, Vic. You already know what time it is, Vic. I would say this. Like you said, I've learned to become a master of manipulating my resources. My first mixtape that I ever did was 2001 in my mom's basement in a little closet that was probably no bigger than this desk that I'm sitting in.
Right.
And it was funny because I was literally the only, and I was in Bonniewood in Clinton, and a lot of people didn't, there was nothing going on around there. So I'm like, when I first moved here, I walked out to the basketball court, was like talking to people like, hey man, anybody rap, anybody do music? And they was looking at me like I was crazy. And it was funny. I just so happened to kind of work, meet a couple people. So shout out to the Green Flag Entourage and everybody from Young Cardoza to Shondon the Bishop came through. I had Delonte West came by the house. Like, it was a whole bunch of people. My mom was like, who the hell are all these people coming to my house?
Right.
You know what I mean? But we were all huddling up in this little storage space up under the stairs, recording, and we was putting stuff out. And from that point on, I learned how to be more of a master manipulator and more of a project manager when it comes to resources and understanding. Like you said, you don't need the big budget to get a project done. You just need to be smart and savvy about how you move things around to get things done.
Absolutely. The bit I would have never guessed that. I'm kind of like, okay, but still I got questions. Like, how did you, that looks like it's nowhere near, looks like it's in a big warehouse with all this stuff going on. But I think that you are a testament to someone who really is, as they say, you're supposed to leave this world empty, which, some people don't understand what that means, but it means that you've been given gifts. And a lot of people are sitting still on their gifts. And you are not. You are using your gifts in IT. You're using your gifts with your musical talent. You're using your gifts with your producing skills. And we recognized it over here on the Power Shut Up podcast. So we want in on that. So our intro and theme song are all about that and being innovative and being, new and different. And that's what I like to do. I like to switch it up, do something different and new. It was eye-catching. I love what you did. And I'm hoping that everyone starts to enjoy the intro because I think it was hot, it was fire, and get used to the intro song because that is going to be I want you to run that in your head every time you think about the Power Shut Up. So thank you so much, Donnie. I know that, you worked diligently on that while you were busy trying to make sure this single popped off today. So February 1st is his release day for the new single, The Beef. The video is fire. So congratulations to you. I know that there's more to come. I wanted to kind of dip in a little bit too. We talked about this before, but we're on the Power Shut Up podcast. So in doing the video, I noticed this time around, you actually talked about collaborating with someone else. Which kind of leads me into maybe a little Power Shut Up conversation. So, we talked about before when you were here how, in the music industry, sometimes you got to learn when to, kind of hold your peace, know what not to say when you're sitting at the table. So how do you think that the Power Shut Up played in you actually reaching out to somebody and saying, hey, this is a project, or him saying that to you and you all deciding this is how we're going to do this to work together, because it had to be some, you know, when you collaborate, there's always chances for things to go left or right. So how do you think the Power Shut Up may have played a role in that?
Well, it made me think of Kenny Rogers. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them. You know, now, all jokes aside, I think the beauty of that passage that you so eloquently convey and distribute to everybody is that it does have a lot of merit to it, and it also has a lot of functionality to it if you actually know how to wield it. It's like education. Education itself is useless. It's how knowing what to do with the education against its power. I feel it's the same thing with the Power of Shut Up. Now, with regard to this project is I used it because I had to, I had to come to understand it. When I was young in my career, I wanted to be the guy.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be the guy. Like, I did all of this, I did all that, just so I can brag and say that I did all of this stuff. And it created more calamity trying to be that guy than to understand that, it's so much stuff to embody. You don't have to do it all by yourself. It's more about not having to do it. If you want to do it, then you want to do it, but you don't have to do it.
Right.
And so, I learned to become a talent scout per se.
Okay.
And I think that's my master hidden gift, to be able to see talent before it's recognized and zone it and key in on it and say, hey, you know what I mean? Like, this is dope. How can we set this up in a line and make this work? And so again, going to Noch Beats, Enoch is his name. Shout out to Noch. He worked with me at Universal Music Group. He had just moved in from Chicago, just looking for, trying to find a way in. And we connected. Two brothers working at this big corporation coming from black cities. You know what I mean? And we hit it off. And next thing you know, he playing some stuff. I'm like, well, what's that? Well, I did that beat. What? Well, I guess what? I did this and I got this. And then so we just kind of started working together. And so with that being said, I had to learn to take a back seat, especially when talent is present.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, so like me, and take me and you. Well, take me and you, for example. I have a podcast too, but I don't feel I need to compete with you. Your podcast is amazing. If anything, I want to lift it up. I lift it up before I lift mine up. You know what I mean? Because I think
same here with you. But I wanted to say before you kept going is you're tapping into one of our bylines with the Power Shut Up. And I think the biggest thing, hello, Tanya, thanks for tuning in. One of the things I wanted to mention in regards to that is that you set that ego aside. And that is part of what the Power Shut Up is all about, is learning to set that ego aside and be okay with sharing a space with another gifted person, and not feeling that competition. So I like where you were going with that. Please continue. But I thought about, okay, that was major ego put aside, because everybody walking around here with a big chip on their shoulder.
Well, speaking of chips, I'll put it to you like this. When it comes to being humble and working with other people, it just came into my head when you said chips. Mount Rushmore has more than one face on it. You know what I mean? So I don't look at a GOAT as being a singularity. I look at a GOAT as being a league of people that have achieved a certain level of achievement and a status. And if I'm ever heralded as being a GOAT, I'm going to be amongst the greats. You know what I mean? I'm no better, and I'm damn sure no less. Hopefully. Right. If I ever get to that point. But I think that's the thing. And so with that being said, like you said, it's not even about being humble to me. At the end of the day, I'm a fan of the art too.
Yes. I'm
a fan of everything moving. If I see people winning, I want to be around people that's winning. I want to see people succeed, because we all have it in us to do it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So that's where I draw my muse from, and that's how I move forward.
And I think that's how you succeed. And really what a lot of people don't understand when I say the Power Shut Up, that's really what it's all about is, and I know y'all hear our byline. One of the bylines is to burn those petty files, but this is still in rotation with that we have to learn how to just kind of put those egos aside. And at times when we feel like we want to be petty about something, or we're moving in our feelings, the power of shut up is about not doing that. So recognizing that it's easy to fall into that zone. I mean, we've all done it. We've all been there where we're like, why not me? And I should have been there. I'm better or whatever. We do that. I mean, it's human. But when you get to a place where you can check yourself, I think that that's powerful, because what you can do is you start to be able to work with more people, like-minded, that also are burning those petty files and putting those egos aside. And I think that the success behind that is so much bigger than you just doing this all by yourself because you think you're the only one to know how to do it.
And to piggyback off that, and I'll be quick with this. I honestly, to be fair, and you're hearing this come out loud now for the first time. I left DC jaded. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
I had been recording, and like I told you, 2001 was my first mixtape, and before that, I did my first recording in 1994.
Okay.
And so they started, the music scene started to pick up, and then they started to develop these lists that I still to this day I'm like whatever. But I left jaded because I felt like I had been doing a lot at that time. I had hobnobbed with some of the people that everybody's talking about in DC right now. Like I knew them personally. I did a lot of work for them. Matter of fact, there's a DMV cipher that's still on YouTube right now, and it had some of the greatest people, the freestylers in DC on it, and I've shot the whole thing and put it up.
Wow.
And I never got the accolade I felt I deserved. But when I moved out here, that humility and that learning the power of shut up, I grew and understood that it wasn't, I can't fault everybody else. It was on me, and maybe my fire wasn't burning bright enough that people could see it. So I turned it around on its ear to let that fuel me. That combined with the fact that I had to leave my kids to come out here and create a better dynamic, and that opens up a whole nother conversation.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But it definitely put the battery in my back, as I said earlier. You know what I mean? And so with that being said, there's multiple applications and multiple times we can use the power of shut up, but effectively that all comes into play for me, and it shined brightly for me, and which is why when you had these symposiums, I was more than happy to come along when I was asked to come along. So
absolutely. Look, he gave me an awesome opportunity to do a shameless plug. That we do have a Power Shut Up Symposium every year. And Donnie and I had actually met a couple of years ago now. And he had his podcast. I think I had Luncheon with Lisa at the time. And he invited me onto his podcast, which was awesome. I loved his layout. We had a great time, especially connecting because he was from the DMV. And then he came on my show. And to me, that's collaboration at its best. And we did, you actually, I was thinking when you were talking earlier that you probably stepped on some people's toes, because there are moments when, you feel jaded or you feel slighted because you feel like you didn't get what you deserved in a certain space. And the power shut up comes into play when, despite that, I'm not going to let that hold me back.
Yeah.
It didn't happen, but now I'm here and I'm moving forward. And then it becomes not so big a deal. Because it was like you said, maybe it's some of me. And I think I'm raising my hand as maybe you stepped on my toe a little bit, that sometimes it's that we weren't doing what we needed to be doing to put ourselves up there in front. So how do we slight someone else for, doing what they do? It just wasn't our time. And that sometimes to me is where the power shove comes in, where you can't, start to yapping about what you didn't get, what didn't happen for you, because maybe that just wasn't your time. And instead of spending your energy on talking about that, why don't you spend your energy on talking about what you're going to do going forward to get what's yours? Because if it was yours, you would have had it. So maybe it just wasn't for you. So I like that you said that. And I'm going to actually take this moment because this is also Black History Month.
Okay.
And I mentioned Luncheon with Lisa because that's actually where Donnie and I met. And actually, when I started with the symposiums, Donnie is one of the, he's part of the Power Shut Up family. He's a speaker at the symposium. I'm encouraging you all. It's usually in April. Hopefully, tentatively April 27th, maybe. I don't know. We're figuring it out. But we actually invite people out. We have a DJ. We have great conversation. We do feed you. We don't feed you. We have wonderful vendors in the house, and we really talk about how we can improve our communications with each other. And I mean, through relationships, through business, with our kids. We get it. We go all the way in, and we keep it real. And Donnie is one of those that is right there on the docket. Victoria is there. We have some amazing people that are speaking with your guests. Prince Dejour, that you know at DMV, Sean Lasore, Dana Hutchinson, Dr. Tanoa. We have some great speakers. So we'll give you more information about that. But it started with the Power Shut Up, the book. More to come with that for those who don't know. But yeah, we have a good time. But I wanted to actually go into a Black History moment, because back with Luncheon with Lisa, during this month, we would have a Black History moment every show. So I'm going to pull something out of the archives with Luncheon with Lisa, and I'm going to share a Black History moment with you that I hope will explain how we even got to have a Black History moment in the first place. So, because what I do like to do with Dove Style Magazine, The Power Shut Up, or Touched by Dove Publishing, all the things that I do, I really like for people to come and then leave knowing something they didn't know when they got here. So let's go with our Black History moment from the archives of Luncheon with Lisa, and we will be right back. So stay tuned and listen.
The celebration of Black History Month began as Negro History Week, which was created in 1926 by Carter G. Woodson, a noted African-American historian, scholar, author, educator, journalist, and publisher, who was one of the founders of the Association for the Study of African American Life and History. A founder of the Journal of Negro History in 1916, Woodson had been called the father of Black history. In February 1926, he launched the celebration of Negro History Week, the precursor of Black History Month. In the early 20th century, while he earned a master's degree from the University of Chicago and a PhD from Harvard, both in history, Woodson witnessed how Black people were unrepresented in the books and conversations that shaped the study of African American history. In 1915, he and Jesse E. Moreland founded the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History, which is now the Association for the Study of African American Life and History, or the ASAL. The organization will promote studying Black history as a discipline and celebrate the accomplishments of African Americans. And I quote, "If a race has no history, it has no worthwhile tradition. It becomes a negligible factor in the thought of the world, and it stands in danger of being exterminated." Woodson said this in the issues of a need of such a study. In 1926, Woodson and the ASALH launched a Negro History Week to bring attention to his mission and help school systems coordinate their focus on the topic. For those who ask, why February? Well, Woodson chose the second week in February as it encompassed both Frederick Douglass' birthday on February 14th and Abraham Lincoln's birthday on February 12th. Now, during the Civil Rights Movement, freedom schools in the South embraced the week and its curriculum message as a way to contribute to the mission. By the mid-1960s, the most popular textbooks for 8th grade U.S. history classes mentioned only 2 Black people in the entire century of history and had transpired since the Civil War. And that problem could no longer be ignored. It was in that decade that colleges and universities across the country transformed the week into a Black History Month on campus. A number of mayors had already adopted the celebration as a municipal event by the time President Gerald Ford decreed Black History Month a national observance in 1976 on both the 50th anniversary of the first iteration and America's bicentennial year. And that's another Black History moment on Luncheon with Lisa.
So there's our Black History moment for those who might not have known how we even came across having a Black History Month. So like I like to remind people, especially during this month, but should be all year long, is that people fought hard for us to get to a place where we could not only talk about our history, but share it with others. And that's why this month is so important. And it's not to say that we shouldn't talk about this every month, but we get an extra opportunity. And so it wasn't that, it was the shortest month and things like that, but there were particular reasons why this month was chosen. So we need to focus on those positive things and then take advantage of these moments to teach, our younger generations and sit down and listen to our older generations about our history, because we know it's at stake. It's at stake. So that was a little moment, but more to come this month on sharing a little bit about how we show up in the world, because we show up everywhere. So there you have it. There you have it. So I really wanted to take this moment to talk about self-love, because during the month of February, as we've done in the past, even with my last show, Lunch with Lisa, for the month of February, we talked about self-love, we talked about romantic love, we talk about community love, and we talk about computer love. Now, some of y'all might not know what computer love means, but y'all know about all this, digital, social media, all that kind of stuff. But I did want to talk with you, Donnie, and our guests that will come on, we'll pick, an area, but I'm thinking about self-love, because you mentioned something about when you worked on this last single that you just had decided to kind of, say it with your chest. Step out and do you in a different way. And to me, that's a form of self-love, when we start to actually receive who we are and not get caught up in those boxes that people actually create for us. So talk to us a little bit about why self-love is so important, and why we got to stay connected to ourselves. While we're busy trying to connect with other people, we got to have some self-love in there.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great question. I think, self-love is definitely very important. I mean, for a lot of reasons. I mean, mental health awareness and mental health is a very big issue with society these days. Just even for Black people in general, our health conditions and how we are cared for in this institution that they call the United States of America, and how we have to look after ourselves. All of these things. I think for me, the most prominent though is how you see yourself. Because we as people, and I've done a lot of back study in the background for this through previous jobs and companies that I worked for, with the rise of diversity and inclusion. We probably are literally the only race that really was institutionalized to acquiesce. And so, I mean, even from the days of Jim Crow all the way down, you know what I'm saying? There's a direct history that you can chart on that matter, and how it disenfranchised us as a race. And I'd say that it's very important for self-love, because you have to know who you are. You have to live very unapologetically in order for you to emerge from the shadow that you probably didn't even realize that you were attached to.
Absolutely.
Like even to speak for myself, because obviously I can't speak for everybody else. No shade or nothing against my family, but they didn't really have much. You know what I mean? And as well as I, PG County, come on now, it might as well be living in Hollywood. But kudos to moms. You know what I mean? Simple Black mom kept us afloat, kept us out of the hood. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I went to the hood regardless, because I was just inquisitive like that.
You just had to go, right?
The Donnie gets down, But But you know, it was always a good thing to understand that where you come from, you don't always have it. And how do you break those generational cycles and generational curses? I want to do that for my children.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, you know, I want them to be able to have, you know, serious amounts of wealth. And me just sitting back on my laurels, or me not really emerging to become, will not aid in that process.
Right.
So I have to believe in me even when nobody else does, because who's going to believe in me even if I don't even believe in myself?
That part.
So this is one of these times that's where, like I said, I'm a problem. Can't stop them. You know what I mean? I had to come with it because at the end of the day, that's the truth. And I think the fact of the matter is nobody's going to give me anything, and then nobody's going to give you anything. There's far too many people out there, in my opinion, that feel like the world owes them something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether this the man is keeping us down. Well, we'll talk to the man to get you a loan to get out of there. Then, you know what I mean? Like, however you want to structure it, but you are not your last place of residence.
Right.
You can be everything that you want to be, wherever you want to be. I can count on both hands how many people told me, A, I wouldn't amount to anything in the music industry. B, how many people said that I'd never leave Peachtree County. And here, four score, and like I said, almost a decade later.
I was gonna say, which is true for a lot of people. So, you know, you don't really know unless you know that, you know, getting up out of here sometimes was a hard feat for a lot of people. And there are a lot of people that are here that hadn't been nowhere else.
Absolutely.
Not saying I love home. I came back from living in Atlanta. I came back home. I love being in DC. Yeah. But there are a lot of people who never left DC. So, you know, that speaks volumes for even with that and loving your home, still breaking out and feeling like there's more for me out there. That's a self-love to me. I love myself enough to go out there and see what else is out there for me. You know, I mean, and that's what you did. But you don't lose sight of where you came from, what home is. And I noticed that in all the music that you do, I think it's wonderful, but you always pull DC or the DMV back into what you are doing over there in LA. And I don't think I've ever seen anybody do that before.
Well, to me, I noticed that as well. I am the DMV. The DMV is me. Everywhere I am, I'm the DMV is with me. And I put that on my back, and I have always put that on my back. You can check my previous aliases and previous I've always put, because I never felt like I was in a shadow of the room. I always felt like I was the part of the room. Mm-hmm. And everywhere I go, the world's a stage. Absolutely. And you know what I mean? So every bit of joy and experience and love and light that I experience, I try to send that back and direct people. Hey, look, I'm dope. If you think I'm dope, I got about 15 people. I've told people at the executives at Universal Music Group, I was like, yo, if you gave me a bag, I'm telling you right now, I can call at least 15 people from the DMV that will come and lay waste to LA. Flat out.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's just because and I think it's more so of the understanding that, like you said, for people that don't know how big the world is, they can't compute.
That's right.
How to get these things done. So my thing is, I've always been the person to try to get things done, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to wait for you to get it. That's not my story. That's your story. Right. I'm writing my own chapters. I'm trying to get a part 2 book deal. I'm trying to get part 2, part 3 in there.
Hey, you know I mean? Know that's right. And for me, on top of what you said with self-love is accepting you with all your flaws, understanding, because I think a lot of people walk around looking for perfection, trying to be that perfection. But I think the real self-love is when you accept you, even with all those flaws. I mean, we're always, you hear people out here judging folks for this, that, and the other. But when you can walk around, I think it's so much power in being able to be okay with who you are, even when there's some things that you still need to do some work with. I still love me. Still love me. I like who I am. I think it's unfortunate that a lot of people can't say that. But I do think that that's a goal that people can reach, to be able to say, I really like who I am. No, I'm not perfect. I don't always get it right. I got some work to do. Okay. Don't call my husband in here, because he might agree too quickly. But I love who I have become as a woman, and it's taking me 55 years to get there, and it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay. And I think if more people were okay with, you know, who they are, with all their flaws, and know, like, yeah, I got work to do, but that's why you can't come in and say nothing about me that's going, you know, really rock me too much, because I know that, you know, if somebody say that's really what the Power Shut Up was about, because I, you know, I had a mouth on me. And now if someone was to say that, I can say, you right, I can get there. But I've learned so much from exercising the power that, you know, you can't get me with that. You're gonna have to find something else, because that's not gonna work. I know this.
Well, you know, it's funny that you say that too, because being from the DMV, we all know, man. When you know what I'm saying, you grew up in the DMV, you gotta have tough skin anyway. You know what I mean? Like, people be they Joan on you in the New York Minute. You know what I mean?
Not
like,
Joan, not you. Didn't say Joan, did you?
They be Joan on you, bro. Like, they snap on you, pop on you, they can crack on you, they fry you, serve you up, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know, I get on stage with a microphone and be like, boy, look at his head, boy. And then, you know, then next thing you know, it's over with. But me, you know what I mean? Like me, I'm like, look, at the end of the day, look at his head, it's glorious, bro. Like, at the end of the day, you know what I mean? I tell people all the time, like, you know, especially that I usually start my sets when I go on stage. You know, I introduce myself, let them know where they can find me, and I'm like, look, let me explain something to you. I'm not perfect, just like you said. I'm not perfect, but if I mess up, it'd be the best mess up you ever heard in your life.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
And I'm, like I said, I'm unapologetic, because who I am, I'm a one of one. I got two, 3 kids back home, and all of them, they're one of ones. Mm-hmm. There will never be another me. It will never be executed to be another me. So I'm going to be the living testament of what it's like to be this.
I know that's right. And I mean, to me, that's self-love at its finest, when to realize that no matter what, there's only one you.
Yeah.
And nobody does it better. I think I have a post that I've posted for years, where I said, nobody does you better than you. So why feel the need to feel, you know, less than, or, you know, compete with other people? Because there's only one you. So, you know, why not walk in that greatness? Love on yourself. Because you're right. You know, there are times when you feel like nobody else is doing it. But if you love you, you're not going to feel that lack of. So that's really my message. Thank you so much, Donnie, for sharing that, because I think a lot of times people kind of get so caught up in pleasing others, and, you know, wanting to look a certain way or come off a certain way to others, that they forget about who they are, and that it's okay to miss the mark sometimes. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah.
There's beauty in imperfection.
Absolutely. This has been a pleasure. I wanted to I see Gail and Carrie, Tanya. Thank y'all for, you know, they're commenting, and Tanya said, love it. Being intentional about speaking life over yourself that's power. That's power. So I'm hoping that that's helped someone who's kind of struggling with how they're feeling about, you know, especially we'll get into talking about computer love the month of February. So continue to tune in, because that's part of that. That's going to lead into that, because there's a whole lot of cyberbullying and, you know, people judging people on social media and not realizing that it is affecting lives. And I'm not just talking about young people. I'm talking about grown people. The things that I see on social media just, you know, make me cringe at times. We just so heartless sometimes about, you know, loving one another. That's that community love too that we'll be talking about this month. And of course, you all know that I am mushy and gushy. Okay. I love. So I want to give you this little tidbit that maybe you don't know. Some of y'all know if y'all mushy gushy like me, but I don't know if you realize that February 13th is Black Love Day. Never knew, right? So this month
with Lisa,
we will share a little bit about Black Love Day, but there is such a thing, and I think it's a beautiful thing. And I say, why not celebrate love and a little extra love any chance you get? Of course, we should love each other all year long. Don't let that be an excuse. I mean, so look. And most of the time, Donnie, I don't want to say nothing against gentlemen, but sometimes y'all use that as an excuse. We should be loving each other all the time. So I don't care nothing about Valentine's. A little extra on February 14th ain't never hurt nobody. And now I'm adding another day to it, saying February 13th is Black Love Day. So why not? And you can celebrate that with anybody.
I'm exercising power shut up right now.
That's so no more excuses, but yes, that is a tidbit, and we'll share more in the weeks to come in February, since this is all love month, so that's what we'll talk about. But yes, there is a Black Love Day right before Valentine's Day. But what I wanted to do is share a TikTok moment. And I usually try to share a TikTok moment on the Power Shut Up that is related to the Power Shut Up, or something positive, or something empowering to take you into the week until we see you next Thursday. So we're going to take a TikTok moment, and we can come back, tell me what you think about it. I think it's a good one. And then we find out how we can stay connected with Donnie, and how you can stay connected with the Power Shut Up and myself. So we'll be right back.
Why did I just see in someone's comments this girl saying, a vacation is when you leave the country. If you're going to another state, you're just taking a trip. If I throw a sweatsuit on, run over to Whole Foods and call it a vacation, I just went on vacation. If I took the garbage out to the end of my street and called it a vacation, it's a vacation. If I wake up, rub my eyes, and yawn and say, I'm on vacation, I'm on vacation. Now go buy a fluffy rag, run it under some hot water, and wash behind your ears. Find something to do. Why are we always trying to define life for each other on the internet? We have too much access to our lips. Be quiet. Close them. Pretend these don't exist. Pretend these don't exist. A vacation is when you leave the country. Shush. Be quiet.
Even they had to laugh at that. That's hilarious.
I could not resist that. I've held on to that for weeks. That was hilarious. And to me, the Power Shut Up in a nutshell, like, y'all stop it, cut it out. Like, if I say that this is a vacation because I went absolutely nowhere and sat on the couch, then let it be. Why is that bothering you? So we got to do better, y'all. We just got to do better. Yeah. That touched me in such a way. I said, oh no, they're gonna get this message. But no, that just tickled me. So Johnny, please share with us how we can stay connected to you, where we can find you, so that when you have some new music coming out, everybody is tuned in.
Yeah, so I'm actually trying to work on consolidating it, because I have entirely too many pages to manage. You can find me on Instagram under Donnie B Got the Beats, or DB Got the Beats. That's the best way to reach out to me. I'm on Facebook as well. But honestly, I'm not even really, I engage a little bit on any of my social media. Just leave a message or leave a comment in the post, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Or you can reach me at contact dbgdb@gmail. But you have to play that back just to really get that. Like you said, it's Donnie B Got the Beats. You can find that on all social media, or DB Got the Beats on all social media. Yes, you can stream my music. Thank you, Tanya Graham. You can find it on Spotify. Just look for Donnie B Got the Beats. You'll find it. I actually have a lot of my old stuff that I did up until 2017 under Donnie B LaFleur, but that's for another podcast. But Donnie B Got the Beats. That's where you'll find me, and I'm like Visa everywhere you want to be.
Absolutely. And please let them know on TikTok, for some of you all who play around on your TikTok and make your little creative videos, Donnie's singles are out there. So Donnie, tell them what songs you have out there. So when you're doing your videos, you can tag them in it, let them know you used them, but you got a couple of songs out there. Tell them about it.
Yeah, thank you. So as she said, we have Celebrated All the Way Up, which is kind of like my flagship song. And actually just want to say that got nominated for at this point 6 film awards. For best music video, won 4 categories already.
Congratulations!
Thank you. That's just another effective form of promo. So Celebrated All the Way Up, that's one. Fine by Me, that was you can find that as well. Also Tied to You, that's another one. Okay. And now Beef is the one that came out today. And then I'm going to leak a new one February 14th. It's a previously recorded one that I actually recorded 3 years ago. But people have been waiting for me to drop it, and I'm just like, you know what? It's time to start letting this stuff go. So a new one's called She Ready. That's coming out on February 14th.
Oh, February 14th. So y'all heard it. I don't know if this is the first place you said it.
This is the first place I said it.
You said it here.
At least to get on to get
first. How about that?
At least it gets on to the exclusive.
I love it. He said it here first. So please, show your love. There's all kinds of ways we can show each other love. Over here at the Power Shut Up podcast, we really do want to include. We do not exclude. We really support each other over here. For real. Like for real. So, even if it's as simple as saying hello to Donnie or using one of his songs as your backdrop, TikTok actually makes it easy for you to tag them on Facebook, check them out. But we appreciate the love any way it comes. So, check him out, support him, and please stay in tune to the podcast, The Power Shut Up. We are here now. We're back 2024, and we are here every Thursday, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, streaming live on YouTube and Facebook, but we also stream to the other platforms like Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeart. So there's no excuse why you will miss a show. We are updating the websites and things like that so you can catch the latest shows, but go ahead over to YouTube and follow my channel so you can get the next alert to let you know when we're going live again, and follow us on all the platforms because we actually highlight all of our guests. Next week, real quick, before we say goodbye, we have Corey Minor, who is used to be an NFL football player, but he is now a huge businessman. He's doing some amazing things. He is our guest next week. So tune in. I love it when we see our guys coming up in here and showing what they do. We have women a lot of times, but this year and this season of Power Shut Up, we've had a lot of men. And I'm loving it. So thank you so much. Again, Donnie, thank you for the new theme song. Thank you for the new intro video. We love it. More to come because he gave us a few extra treats that we're going to share with y'all. And congratulations on your new single and everything that's coming your way. I'll be in touch because we got other stuff that we need to be doing with the Power Shut Up. But I thank you and appreciate you for being here. And thank everyone for tuning in to bring in the new year with us. And we hope to see you next Thursday and every Thursday.
Yep. Thank you all. Pleasure.
Yes.